Hello everyone. This is Tobi from the Phuket Meditation Center, and you're listening to the Dharana Meditation Podcast. Let's sit together, calm the busy mind, and explore topics concerning character development, meditative training, and deeper self-knowledge. So we begin by sitting upright, suspend the head from above. Let your body be relaxed, at ease. Throughout the session, let your posture be still, not fidgeting around, not moving, unless absolutely necessary. Let your breathing be comfortable, so that it feels good. Receiving yourself and this moment with kindness, with compassion, allowing everything to be simply as it is. We're not here to get rid of anything, we're not here to pursue anything. We're simply here. As you're breathing in, feel the body. Breathing out, notice how the body releases some of the tension. It's becoming a little bit more soft. As you breathe in, feel the head, the forehead, the eyes. And breathing out, letting the head become more soft. Let all the tension melt away. Just staying with the head, in particular the eyes, for a little while. What if all your problems, all difficulties, actually existing or potentially, were solved? You find yourself in a situation where there's nothing to worry about anymore, having finally arrived. How would that feel like in the head, in the eyes? That deep relief. I'll let this sense of letting go sink deeper into the shoulders, the arms, into your chest, the heart. It's like a wave of relief, starting at the crown and moving all the way down through the neck, shoulders, heart, chest, opening the tissues, dissolving the tension. Sinking deeper through the solar plexus, down into the belly. Let each out-breath feel like a complete arrival. Leaving this rushing everyday state, breath by breath. Not trying to be someone else, trying to experience something else, trying to get somewhere else. Let it all go. Whatever you do right this second, however you are dealing with this experience right now, think of it as training. Whatever you do, that's what you train. That's what you're getting better in. So if you're in a state of waiting, hoping, being frustrated, complaining, that's what you train. If you're receiving discomfort and stress with an open heart, releasing the tension around it, softening through it, and that's what you train. And let that wave of release move all the way from the crown down into the seat. And just resting in presence. Knowing what is happening while it is happening. You may hear some sounds, experience sensations in the body. Thoughts and moods that pass through your inner space. Whatever it is that you experience, simply know it for what it is. There's nothing to change about it, nothing to do. Sometimes it helps to quietly ask yourself, where is my attention right now? Is it with the ears and sound? Is it with feeling? Is it with talking to yourself in your own head? knowing when impulses arise, like knowing when you want to move, not following the impulse, simply observing it as it arises, changes, and passes. Training non-reactivity. You may also observe a habit of the mind to place the attention on things that are unpleasant far more than things that are pleasant. See if you can find some experiences that are good, that are enjoyable throughout your body. I could, for example, say that there's some pain in my back, some pain in my shoulders, but my lower arms feel really pleasant right now. So I explore the pleasant sensation. I make a choice. Maybe I don't like certain sound, but there's also sounds that I like. Also, for those of you who cannot just rest doing nothing, if you're just at the beginning of this path, and chances are that you're full of doing, trying, and so on. If that's the case, see how you're treating yourself. Is it constructive? Is it kind? Is it helpful? How do you see yourself? How do you respond to experiencing difficulties? Are you encouraging yourself? Or discouraging? Do you try to get away from yourself, or do you enjoy your company? Are you understanding, or are you imposing? Accepting or controlling? And if you like, you can slowly come back. Open your eyes, stretch a bit. So, good morning, everyone. As many of you already know, the path is structured in a way that there are the three trainings. The first of those three trainings would be the training of morality. It's called sila, which can be translated as restrained. The second training is the training of meditation, stilling attention. And the third training is the training of insight wisdom. All three, they work in support of one another. So if you're strengthening morality, meditation is going to be more easy. It's more easy to understand yourself, to know yourself. If you're strengthening wisdom, it's more easy to meditate. It's more easy to practice good behavior and so on. So they're all supporting each other. Now today I would like to shine a bit of a light on the first two trainings, morality and meditation, and how meditation is basically a refined version of morality. So if you're practicing meditation, you could say the reaching of meditation, not the practice of it, but the reaching of it is the pinnacle of morality. It's the summit of morality. It's so to say, it's the very best behavior is utter stillness. The moment you're moving inside, the moment your mind springs forth into intention away from attention, you're already producing. And that production is usually based on ideas such as, I know exactly what I'm doing, I know exactly where I'm going, I know what's right, I know what's wrong, and I'm acting based upon those ideas. And then I produce myself, my environment, my life as I know it. How can we know that what we're doing is right or wrong then? Well, for example, you can ask yourself the question, is your behavior reducing the amount of stress and suffering that you're experiencing? Or is it increasing it? Or is it keeping it at the same kind of level, more or less? You can ask yourself that question. Simple question to check whether your behavior is skillful or not. If your behavior leads to a lot of suffering, well, obviously it's not a skillful kind of behavior. If your behavior leads away from suffering and stress, is more skillful. Like it makes you more calm, it makes you wiser, kinder, less reactive, less impulsive, and so on. That is skillful behavior, good behavior. Meditation then is an outcome of good behavior, you can say. It's a way to measure whether your behavior is actually skillful or not. So that's why I usually call a meditation session a bit like looking into a mirror. Because when you're sitting still with yourself, you have a very honest overview over how things are. How are you? If you ask your mind how you are, your mind is going to give you a whole bunch of stories, and it usually avoids the truth. But when you're sitting still, the truth is immediately apparent. You can very clearly see how you actually are. Because now there is nothing and no one to blame. It's just you alone with yourself. No outer distractions. So it's very honest. It's a very sincere way of dealing with yourself. So if you're interested in the truth, if you like the truth, which I assume most people actually do, at least we understand that it is good to pursue the truth. I think most people understand that, right? Most people have a natural aversion to lies, to pretense, to what is fake, what is not real. We reject it naturally in favor of what is true. You wouldn't want to be lied to for 10 years of your life by a significant other. No one appreciates that. No one appreciates pretense, make-believe. No one likes that particularly. People like when someone is aligned with the truth. And we like ourselves more if our actions and behaviors are aligned with what is true. It is said in the Bible, I believe, that the truth shall set you free. Free of what? Or free from what? Well, first of all, you have to face the truth as it is. You sit down in your meditation practice, you stop escaping, running away, managing, trying, and so on, and you simply look at what's there. Then the very first thing that you're going to see is there's a lot of stress, a lot of suffering. And based upon the experience of stress and suffering, we're constantly managing. That management is the movement of the mind. The mind is constantly trying to deal with suffering in some way or another. Either trying to get rid of it, or it's trying to pursue something that's outside of suffering, for example, happiness. That you could say that's the fundamental activity of any living being, is to establish pleasure and to avoid pain. That's what drives evolution. Every invention that we came up with as human beings, every move of your body right this second is supposed to deal with stress and suffering, which when you sit down quietly becomes undeniable. That's why the Buddha mentioned it as the first noble truth. It's the first thing that you see very clearly when you stop running away from yourself. You see, there is suffering. There is stress. And I always say that, well, suffering is a big word, and a lot of people, when they hear this word, they kind of try to, or they see great cruelty like wars and so on. But suffering exists on a scale. It's the tiniest irritation that makes you move, all the way up to the most horrific circumstances you could ever imagine. All of that is suffering. All of that is stress. Whether that stress is very, very small or extremely large, doesn't really matter. So that's the way I use the word suffering. Okay, now you know. When I say that when you sit down and you become quiet and you stop to run away from yourself into endless distractions, that's going to be the very first thing you're going to see. There is suffering, there is stress. And then, of course, you want to manage it. You want to get rid of it. So meditation becomes this tool for most people to help them to reduce stress, to get rid of stress, to try to eliminate it or manage it or cope in some way. And you can observe this behavior very clearly. You sit down calmly, close your eyes, there's no more escape. Now you see, okay, there's some pain in my knees, there's some pain in my back. The mind doesn't do what it should be doing. It's not being with the breath, it's escaping all the time and so on. Now that's suffering. Things do not go the way you want them to go. And what you want doesn't happen the way you want it. So you can say suffering is being separated from what you want and encountering what you don't want. That's constant, isn't it? We sit here in meditation very clearly, okay, I'm confronted with what I don't want, which is myself, which is the truth. I don't want myself. I don't want the truth. Instead, what I want is some sort of fictional scenario where everything goes my way. That's not true, though. It's not the truth. So many people then, instead of actually meditating, start imagining things and call that meditation. Like I may sit down and I go through a nice journey in my mind. I visualize beautiful discs of radiant light all throughout my body, or I visualize my favorite place, and then I go there in my mind and so on. What is that? Well, it's avoidance, put it simply. It's coping, managing with suffering, but it's not actually dealing with it. It's like a painkiller. There's nothing wrong per se with painkillers, and they're needed for most people, especially on the beginning of the path. You should be good at coping. You should be good at managing suffering, which brings us right back to what is the first training? Behavior. Is your behavior efficient in managing stress? Are you good at managing stress? Are you good at managing your energy? Another way to think of morality or the first training is energy management. The more energy you have in the body, it translates to good health. If you have a lot of energy in the mind, it translates to happiness. Easy to measure. How good's your health? How good's your happiness? It's a kind of a pointing to the availability of energy that you have. Another way to measure is how stable is your mind. The more stable it is, the more energy you have, because energy anchors the mind. It serves as an anchor. If you have more energy in your body, if you have more energy available, you also want to stay inside because it feels good, it feels alive, it feels vital, it feels expanding. It feels good to be here if there is energy. There's no energy, it feels really bad to be here. If you have barely any energy left, we call it depression. Depression doesn't mean sadness, it simply means no energy left in the tank. You're probably running on, 10% or something. How can you be happy? How can you enjoy life when you have no energy? By not having energy, you are already separating from life. The complete exhaustion of the battery is death. So we can understand the first training is energy management, then we can understand ourselves and our behavior as measuring tools. How much vitality do you feel within your body and your mind? How stable is your mind? How anchored are you? How great is your well-being so that you don't even need to distract yourself? It's so nice to just come home into your body and be there because you're full of energy, you're full of life. But if you're not full of life, you kind of don't want to be here. Then the tendency for the mind is to distract, to avoid ourselves, to manage, to cope. All with the aim to get away from yourself. Anything but this. Even meditation can become an effort to get away from yourself. And I would argue that it, in most cases, is exactly that. People trying to get away from themselves using meditation. If I could just be a great meditator, I wouldn't have to put up with all this bullshit. I could just relax. I could be different, in other words. If I could just meditate myself into a different state, I'd be fine. But that's not how it works, unfortunately. Meditation implies a wish to understand what is, to engage with the truth, not immediately just to approach yourself with the wish to change what's there. That's the usual mode. But meditation is inspired by a wish to understand what is, a wanting to truly know what is, because we see there's value in that pursuit of knowledge. And here I'm not talking about intellectual accumulation of information. I'm talking about knowing directly, being aware of what is. Your behavior ideally allows for that. That's how Sila, the first training, gives rise to wisdom. If your behavior is good, understanding will grow, knowledge will grow, insight will grow, vision will grow. If the behavior is interfering with that process, then the only thing you're ever going to know is distraction and activities. There's this term, the pursuit of happiness. And that's what I would say is basically what we all do. That's what society does. But happiness is not an object that can be pursued. That's the misunderstanding. Happiness happens when the pursuit stops. It's counterintuitive. The story that's often given is this, the donkey that has a cart strapped to himself, and on that cart sits the guy with a carrot dangling in front of the donkey, so the donkey gets into motion and pulls the cart because it's motivated by trying to get the carrot. But the point is, you will never get it. And if you're honest with yourself, if you really look at your life, you're still pursuing it, aren't you? Each and every moment, it becomes particularly evident when you meditate. Each and every moment of sitting still, you're trying to get somewhere. That's the pursuit. Just the sense of trying, all by itself, all alone, that's the pursuit. If you're sitting down and you feel like you're trying, doesn't matter what, you're pursuing. You're chasing the carrot. So how do you actually get the carrot? Well, you would have to stop. The donkey would have to do the very thing that feels the most counterintuitive. And when the donkey stops, what happens first? The carrot will, due to the momentum, swing away from the donkey. The suffering will become much more evident. And you have to endure through that. You have to stay, not run away. What's the only meaningful response to suffering? Well, it's compassion, isn't it? And it means not running away when you need it. You need yourself to be here. Don't run away. How would you ever understand? How could you ever help yourself if all you do is run away from yourself? So that's the moment the monkey stops. Carrot swings away from it. Feels dreadful. But just wait. At some point, all you need to do is just open your mouth. Carrot will swing right back in. That's the way it works. That's what meditation is. You have to stop. If your behavior lets you stop, then you can stop. If your behavior doesn't allow for a gap, how can you ever stop? If it's all non-stop activity from the moment you open your eyes in the morning all the way to closing your eyes when you go to sleep, if it's just non-stop activity, non-stop carrot chasing, it will not lead to what you want. I can guarantee you that. You have to have moments where you stop the chase. You have to stop rushing to the next moment, trying to become a different person. You have to prioritize the truth. What is this moment? The way it is. Knowing that. Those are little moments of stopping, where I'm not trying to change myself, where I'm not managing, running away, coping. I sit in stillness. And where does that begin? You all know. Sit still. Don't follow all of your impulses. For some people, that's incredibly hard to do. For some people, it's more easy to do. But we don't care. Doesn't matter whether it's hard or easy to do. What matters is it is good. We don't care whether something is taking you eons or just a minute. We care whether it's good. Is it worth pursuing? Is it worth doing that? And yes, I said pursuing. I'm not saying that all pursuit is bad and you should never pursue anything. How could you? Impossible. Right now we're in a constant state of pursuit. The mind is always pursuing. So we start by pursuing what is good and abandoning what is not, to the best of your ability. The result then is more energy, more happiness, more vitality, more joy, wanting to get out of bed in the morning, feeling creative, having ideas, not feeling overwhelmed, just wanting to shut down. That energy comes from somewhere, and it comes from stillness. It comes from those moments where you do not function, where you're not in pursuit. And those moments should be pursued. Paradoxical, but maybe not all that much. It's like someone trying to get to an island in a boat. You can't just let go as if you're already on the island. You'd have to row your boat to the island first. Then you can let go of the boat. It's the same thing. There has to be some pursuit until the point where it isn't required anymore. You can let it go completely. That would be enlightenment. But to get up there, to get to that island, your pursuit has to be correct. It has to be right. What objects do you pursue in your mind? How do you treat yourself? In this guided meditation that came with this session today, I gave you this short introduction in the ending of the guided meditation where I encouraged you to look at how you treat yourself. How do you deal with yourself? What's your pursuit like? Is it based on, I hate what I see, I hate what I am, let's change it? Or is it based on seeing value and worth in life, in yourself, in your soul, and therefore encouraging you to stay? Knowing that what you do is good. Who else has your back? No one. You came alone into this world, and you will go alone. No one is going to go with you. No one's going to be able to hold your hand when you make that transition. It's just you. And if you're not comfy within yourself, if you don't like yourself, it's going to be pretty tough. So that's some of the benefits of training meditation, are that you are comfortable within yourself. You don't need to lean on others for comfort and joy. You produce it by yourself, so to say. You're your own happiness factory. You don't need to import. And that's good. You're independent. Maybe that's why we also can say truth sets you free in that way. It makes you independent. If you face the truth of suffering and you stay for the sake of understanding and transcending, you will end up with freedom from that very suffering that you have been trying to avoid all of your life. So that's how these two first trainings operate. Your behavior is reflected in your non-behavior. So how good are you at stopping? That's proof. How happy are you without doing anything? Can you be happy for no reason? That's great. Because true happiness does not require a reason at all. It's your nature. And if your layers around that nature are so thin that it can shine through, good, you're doing something right. Your activities, actions, behaviors are serving you. And that is what love is all about. Are your behaviors serving you? Because if they do, they serve everything and everyone around you too. If they don't serve you, instead if they serve your tendencies, that's not love. Love doesn't mean do whatever you want. It means do what is right, do what is good. And taking responsibility for that, that's another way of saying that's how love acts. How it cares for you, how it looks after you. If you embody that, wonderful. Even just a tiny bit every day, great. That's good. It's the right direction. Keep going. All right? So that's all that comes to mind. Have a good time. Bye-bye.
We hope you enjoyed this episode and had a meaningful time. For more information and upcoming events, head over to our website at phuket-meditation.com. Thank you very much for listening and have a wonderful day.